Hey y'all, we are live. This is Dr. Tracy Harrell. I'm live on my show, about to be interviewed by one of my favorite people. So, Paul, I'm going to have you introduce yourself before we get started. Tell me, who are you?
Oh, when people ask me, I always joke around and say when, but no, I'm a 57-year-old
Yeah,
African
who are
American
you
male.
right now?
Right now, yeah, I'm a 57-year-old African American male, PhD in computer engineering. I'm a retired computer research, Boeing computer research engineer, actually a mixed reality computer research engineer. Let me slow down. So yes, I'm Paul Jackson, Dr. Paul Jackson. I have a PhD in computer engineering from Texas A&M University. I got in 1998. I did 3 summer internships at Boeing when I was in grad school, working in the areas of augmented and virtual reality, application development for manufacturing and maintenance. I'm now retired, living in Tacoma, Washington, with my lovely wife, Jasmine Owner Brown, who's an artist, and we have a nonprofit called Swan Creek Art Academy. One thing
Wow.
about me, though, I learned violin from 4th grade through high school, played guitar, played bass, band, funk band for 2 years straight, Model 601. And it got to a point I was either going to be a professional musician and the National Science Foundation Fellowship to get my PhD at the state and and I'm retired. 1993, though, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and so yeah, and I'm living, walking, breathing. I haven't had any real problems. I mean, now that I'm older, it's starting to creep up on me. I'm a co-lead in the Seattle Swedish MS Society that has once a week on Fridays, on the second Friday, on Wednesday nights, uh, and I invite people to come and talk about different things related to their MS. Also, for Washington State, a medical cannabis patient, and I follow not doctor, I follow Montel Williams, who has a YouTube channel called Being Blunt with Montel. Montel Williams is an African American male, used to be a TV producer, was diagnosed with MS, and has a weekly show on YouTube. He talks to everybody in the industry, from both patients, producers, lawyers, people on the government side, about why the U.S. has not really accepted cannabis as a medicine. And so
Mm.
I like to ramble, but I'm going to she'll have to cut me off. So
I love
did I
it.
answer?
It's all good. Again, y'all, this guy is all the things he just said. He's, I'd say respected, valued, and I'm just glad to be here. And we're gonna have a conversation. So he's gonna interview me like I normally, oftentimes, interview other people. So Paul, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. So Tracy, how you doing today?
Fabulous, fabulous.
How you doing?
My blessed and highly favored, as my Southern roots would often says, blessed and highly favored for sure.
Right. So what's your PhD in?
So three things. So my focus is neuroscience and positive psychology and cognitive behavioral psychology and performance science. This was around community service. So also last year, 2 years ago, actually, I won the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for service. And it was really in honor, not with this president, by the way, it was with Biden. Just to clarify, I think I would have said thank you, but no thank you. But being in a position to celebrate and to show up in community for decades, this is the work I love to do. It's really about elevating people and helping people to live powerfully.
So Tracy, now, and you live in Seattle, but I say we, well, I to something. We started doing this, and you're now doing it full time. Maybe real briefly, you could describe what that is for you. What's the house said?
So, it's interesting because part of the life I've led, when I talk about living powerfully, it's doing what you love every day, like choosing for yourself what brings you peace and what brings you joy. Well, I love luxurious spaces. I love Seattle's beautiful water views. And I had the opportunity, partially through you and your lovely wife, to, and my sister actually a few years ago had told me about house sitting. But when I met you guys who had been doing house sitting, I thought, oh, these are the locals. Let's see what their experience has been. And so, I am now house sitting full time, and it's the most incredible experience I have ever had. I've been doing it now for a year and a half, and I do it with Ken, who's my bestie. And I don't think I would do it if I was a single woman, because this place that I'm in right now, for example, is so big. It has so many entrance points and so many windows, right? There are little poochies here and plants and, all the things. But there's a security issue when you're a woman, if you're house sitting in spaces that, aren't yours. But I feel very safe. I feel very comfortable. I feel blessed every day to just wake up in these luxurious spaces, water views or expansive gardens. And it's like, I am that person who's literally living the life of my dreams. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And from there, though, I'm going to flip it, because we were able to visit you in your last house over there in
my current house sit, not my last, my current. Yes.
Okay. So it's like you were saying, on one side you have to enter through the Redmond side, other houses you're in the Bellevue side.
Oh, so you want me to elaborate a little bit, is what you're saying? Okay, this house is so big, and again, keeping full anonymity for the homeowners. This house is so big; it has a east and a west entrance. Literally, an east wing and a west wing. One has two addresses. One is a Woodinville address and one is a Redmond address. The first night I got here, I'm getting a tour, and I've been here 2 months ago, because you go to these places before you actually sit. You want to meet the people and meet the animals or meet the plants and see whatever needs to be done. So I came here in the summer. It was gorgeous. Of course, pool, hot tub, all the things, but like 5 acres of land. It's incredible. And I say this because the first night I got here, even though I'd seen the place before, we came like the day before they were leaving, got a tour of the place. I decided I was going to be hanging out in this room. They call it the sun room. It's 3 French doors out to this, lovely garden. A 100-inch projector screen TV. It's luxury living. Let me just say that. It is luxury living. I swear to God, the first night, now their bedroom is upstairs. The kids' room, there's a master. The kids are old. They're like grown. But the parents that live upstairs is a master suite. So we have this entire, bottom level. And there's one, suite downstairs, and that's the one that we were in. So like, of all the doors, like I could open every door downstairs, knowing that no one was here. Like, I'm working late. I could not find the bedroom. I didn't realize in the house, there's a roundabout in the house. I'm on the Redmond side. I had to walk all the way down the Woodinville side. I'm like, I'm thinking that's it. No, you had to turn right at the roundabout inside the house. I swear to you, to go. And after the first night, I was like, okay, there's a roundabout in the house. Now I know. So I have to turn right at the roundabout in the house to go down the other aisle that's down the Woodinville side. So right, hilarious and awesome. But again, if I didn't have a guy here and these little poochie loochies, these aren't like vicious pooches. These are like the sweetest little, cutest, hairy little, So they're not gonna fight off an attacker. But Ken is here and he will. So I do feel safe. And they have an extensive security system and all that. So house sitting isn't for everyone. I get to work online, I get to work remotely, and I have a partner who is also digitally inclined. And so, it's wonderful for us. It has just been a godsend for sure.
Wow. Yes. And the fact that you're not paying rent, you have to pay for your car insurance and that, but I mean, the utilities are paid for because you have to house it. That's amazing. And you'll be able to save up as you're doing this. It's beautiful.
Well, I mean, because you're going to now talk about my trip to Jamaica, which I got to do partially because I do this, right? So it's like, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And I've been gifting my time probably way more than I should, which, is another show we can do. But right now, I want to talk about, I really want to focus on Jamaica, and I want to focus on
and on the island. Yeah. So one side is glorious, it's beautiful, it's amazing. On the other side, the life-death experience, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the time you spent in Jamaica.
So I recently went to Jamaica for an empowerment retreat. It was in partnership with a program that Debrina Jackson Gandy hosts. It's called Holistic Success. And so one of our sisters, we call ourselves sisters, lives in Jamaica. Another one owns a property in Jamaica. It's a retreat, a wellness retreat. So it's this beautiful mansion in Hanover, Jamaica, water view. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we scheduled this empowerment retreat. And for me, because I've been to Jamaica probably about 20 times, I lived in Florida. So, you know, it was a pretty easy hop, skip and a jump. I did a marathon in Jamaica in Negril, the reggae marathon. So I say that to say I love Jamaica. So we were going to go for this empowerment retreat, but it was only going to be about 4 days. So I'm like, if I'm flying from Seattle to Jamaica, I need to have a 5-star kind of all-inclusive, you know, couple days after the retreat to just really enjoy and soak up, you know, the Jamaica that I know, right? This, and not that the other place wasn't tropical, but it wasn't all inclusive. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all inclusive, but I know what those resorts kind of offer, right? A spa and all the other things. So I booked that time, and Divine Intervention says if I had not booked that time, we would have had a very different experience. Let me just say that, because a few of the ladies stayed at the when we finally discovered that the hurricane was coming, and we tried to leave early. It didn't happen, right? Like airports were being shut down, and some of the ladies, again, I had a 1-bedroom suite which had a full living area with a pull-out couch, with a balcony and a water view, and a full king-size bed space with a, you know, balcony, beautiful 2 bathrooms, you know, so beautiful space. And it was going to be for me and Debrina Jackson Gandy. I invited her to join me because I know she likes luxurious things as well. So we had this planned in advance, right? And because this hurricane has come and now the airports are closed, the ladies that had planned to leave that Sunday trapped. And so we were checking into the new space. So I got to, my room slept 4 people. So I got to invite 2 of them to join us. And then one of the other ladies had booked a space. We were on the adult side. She was on the family side of this Hyatt Zilara, or Hyatt Ziva is the same resort. It used to be a Ritz-Carlton. They split it into 2 halves, a family side and an adult half. So long story short, she was there as well in a room. So she invited another person to stay in her room because she could have 2 people. And so we ended up having 6 of the 11 of us in the Hyatt, and I guess another 5 ladies, 4 or 5, were at this mansion in Hanover. And I say the difference is because we had very different experiences too, right? And so when I say there was a blessing that happened, there was favor that was poured onto us because we had this plan in advance, right? Did not know a hurricane was coming, did not know the timing of the hurricane, even once that all happened. So the timing was very much divine. And so it was, you know, became a category 5. And I'm a Florida girl, so I don't get, you know, too scared or upset when someone says a hurricane is coming. Right. In Florida, you can drive north, you can kind of get away. Right. You're on the island, they shut everything down. It's like hunker down because we all in this together. And so I say that to say, you know, we still had different experiences because I'm at a 5-star Hyatt and they're at a home where, again, it was a beautiful home, but it was a home nonetheless that had the infrastructure of a home. We had a generator and all the resources of a Hyatt. So we had 3 squares, full buffet style, 20 items per meal. And they were over there eating, you know, ramen noodles at some point in time. Like none of us expected to be there as long as we were. So I say that to say we were blessed for sure. We were doing some fundraising for that woman and for her space. But it was just an experience that I wouldn't want to, and then think about the people of Jamaica, right? The whole beautiful part of this conversation is that I came back with Jamaica on my mind and Jamaica on my heart, like giving, the whole giving campaign that we're supporting, not just money, but things. So that's how I'm starting with the end in mind. So y'all know this ain't just, you know, that there were lessons that were learned about leadership, which I also want to share, which was so powerful. But my experience was we went for one reason and it turned into something absolutely, honestly, transformation. It transformed my life. Yeah, for sure.
So we're talking offline, the leadership, 2 things, the manager that you were working with and the 3 Gs talked about. So
yes. So the interesting part for me, again, I consider this empowerment retreat was about me getting closer to my divine, you know, maker, to make sure, you know, I consider myself someone who walks surrendered, but my purpose in life is to help other people. So if I'm learning something, then I want you to learn it too. I want to share what that is. And so from this experience, part of my learning was just watching amazing leaders, two of which I'm going to talk about today. Debrina Jackson Gandy was the leader of this empowerment retreat. And so to watch her throughout the process, not only, support each of us in our own transformations lovingly with grace, right? Like the stuff she talks about, she actually lives it. A lot of people say something, then you flip the script, and it's like, I don't know who that was, right? We all have our, moments, of course, but I was so impressed with her, and she also was open to learning, grow like the rest of us. We were all on a journey, and it was beautiful. The other person that we experienced leadership from, and I'm going to say not this person, it was everywhere, but you do stop at the leadership role, right? Was the general manager of the Hyatt that we stayed in. His name was Adrian Whitehead. He was incredible. And we'll talk about that even more. But what I was able to do was to say my visual experience, my physical, emotional experience, the whole thing. We packaged it into a story, into a message, a lesson for you all that we're calling the Living Powerfully 3G Strategy Legacy Leadership. And the 3Gs are grace, gratitude, and giving. So living powerfully, because that's the work that I do always, right? 3G strategy of legacy leadership. How do you lead with grace and gratitude and giving? So that's my gift. Everything, every situation can be turned into a gift and an opportunity. So my gift to the world is this what we're going to talk about today.
All right. So I'm going to do a quick apology to Sister Debrina. Yeah, because I know her brother Nate. So Nate Jackson has a comedy place here in Tacoma, one of only 4 Black-owned comedy places in the country. His happens to be the largest, and now Nate is blowing up. He's got all these like crowd work stuff that's on YouTube. He's been at the Paramount in Seattle. He's blowing up, and so
he's wonderful. And I'm gonna bring Nate back up again. But we're gonna stay focused so we can get through this. I know you got some place to go. Nate came in to support Debrina in getting home. So we'll bring that up a little bit later. He did show up as big brother Nate and helped her not to leave out of Montego Bay, but he's like, I know some people in Jamaica. Let's get you out of Kingston when flights were leaving out of Kingston before they actually got the Montego Bay airport up and going. So he did support his sister in that way. Yes.
One last word about the Jackson family, because the father is doing stuff statewide for African American reparations and other things like that related to the history of the state. So that's another thing.
You don't have to slow down for that, but you can shout out. That's the other. Say his full name. Let's give him his full props.
Definitely. Unfortunately,
Nathaniel. Because one is Nate and Nat. One is Nate. One is Nat. So he's Nat. Huh?
He's a jump rope king. He's a jump rope king.
He's jump rope king, yes.
Right.
Nate Jackson. But he's also this civil rights. I mean, their whole family is amazing. So we can do a whole show on the Gandys if we choose to.
Move on in a second. So let's go back to 3Gs. The 3Gs. Yep. So explain them again.
So the 3Gs, again, it's the Living Powerfully 3G strategy of legacy leadership. And the 3Gs are grace, gratitude and giving. And they're timeless, right? Grace is what steadies the soul. Gratitude is what lifts the heart. And giving is what activates greatness. That's how they came about, right? When purpose meets pressure, true legacy leadership is born. So that's really how this has evolved for me. It's not about titles, even though I'm talking about this GM. It's not about him being a GM. It's not about Debrina being over the holistic success program. It's about what you do when everything starts to fall apart. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do, right? Words may inspire, but the actions, they truly transform, right? What you believe in your heart, that's what transforms you and other people. So people follow what you model way longer than they follow what you say.
Exactly. And so following what you are, because the island has been devastated. Roofs are blown off. There's no power. There's the infrastructure. The roads are still kind of messed up because there's a lot of flooding that happened. And so you're trying to get people to give to the island, things that haven't even touched, like myself. I got divorced. Unfortunately, I have stuff in storage I haven't even looked at in like 4 or 5 years. So I'm willing and able to actually give some stuff away. I have clothing, I have some furniture and stuff and plates and things like that. So I'm definitely willing to give. And so maybe we can talk more about how that will work as far as we're not giving to
Okay.
an individual person, we're giving
I
it
love
to the if to the actual hotel. I mean, how's that?
So,
How's
so,
that?
so I love that you kind of, y'all, he just fast forwarded to the end because Paul got to go. And I love that. Thank you very much, Paul. Let's get to the giving part. We'll come back to the 3Gs. We'll come back to talk about grace and giving and grace and gratitude and giving. No,
I
no,
don't
we
want to
can come
skip.
back to it.
No,
Huh?
I mean, yeah, you have to talk about grace. I mean, yeah, I mean,
No,
it's
this
my
is great.
story.
No. I'm just saying we'll go into detail later. I love what you're saying. Let's get to the giving. Let's get to the what
Right.
people can do, and I love that. We're 20 minutes in, so I love it. So you got to go.
Okay.
I know you have another event going on too. So, so I love this. So here's the plan. There is a link which the Hyatt is managing this actual relief campaign. I don't want to give you the wrong link. I have it on my phone, which so you're gonna come back here and just and just keep your eye on this, my social media, this Facebook, this LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. I will come back and make sure the links are posted here. But there's a Hyatt campaign, and it's not for the Hyatt Hotel at all. This GM, who we all love and know and trust, is saying, I'm taking care of my people, my people's families and their communities, and they live all over. And I love that because when you send some stuff, it's going to the people that are giving it to the people that are right there under their care. So you're right. There's all kind of, you never know what's going to happen when you give stuff away. This is going to be a very intentional operation. And when I reached out to the GM here, so this is the GM in Montego Bay. When I say Adrian Whitehead, he's the one that we experienced in the Hyatt in Montego Bay, Hyatt Zilara. The GM here in Lake Washington, there may be a GM in the main downtown Seattle. I haven't reached out to him. I don't know him, but I do know the guy. His name is Scott Lane here at Lake Washington's Hyatt, and he's incredible. And so what I'm excited to do is we're going to be talking about actually, I reached out to him, and while I was still in Jamaica, I was like, Scott, there's some things, because when we were leaving, they were like, you can leave whatever you brought here for people. So they were collecting clothes. I was like, I pack light as I've ever packed in my entire life here. This is nothing. I got a storage full of stuff. I got clothes, I got household stuff, and stuff that I haven't already given to people who were in need. But this is the idea of giving to people who've lost everything is a no-brainer to me. It's like, yes, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to formalize this process. And so the general manager was like, I love that. Let's do it. General manager in Jamaica, when I called the one in my neighborhood in the Lake Washington Hyatt in Renton, he said, I'm all in, Scott Lane. So props to the general managers. Props to Hyatt, because what we experienced there, honestly, was service beyond excellent. So that's where the 3Gs come in. But it was because of the grace. It was because of the gratitude that he had for his people who were showing up for us. And then the giving, and then let me tell you what he did to give back to us. We're there, and I could go on and on and on. So let me keep it simple, how you can give, and then I won't go around. I can come back and circle around to how we felt like we were just blessed 1,000 times over by this community, by the Hyatt employees who were there for us. But let me circle back to what people can do. You can start thinking about looking around your house. We have such surplus in the U.S., right? I mean, most of us have clothes in the back of our closet that we haven't touched, right, for years. Some of us are paying for storage units for stuff that you haven't touched for years. Stop playing. I'm a size 20, 22, and I got some 14s and 16s in the hope of, if I get there, when I get there, I'm gonna buy some more stuff. For now, anybody who needs, right, and stuff that maybe is not your favorite stuff, but it's good stuff. It can't be crap. We're not giving people crap. No holes, nothing raggedy, right? It's good stuff. Like, we all have great stuff that you've been storing, paying to store oftentimes, or keeping because you think you're going to use it, not just clothes either. I have rugs, beautiful rugs that are in my storage unit right now, still wrapped up, right, that I've never even opened, that I'm going to use for different places. Well, when your house is flooded, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about toiletries, right? We're talking about just like, and mine are in bins and organized, tools. I mean, right, think about it, like stuff, they need everything. So if you have children, diapers and clothes,
yes.
All shoes, all the things, right? So all the things. So just start gathering it up, more information to come. And then there's a link to, like, I talk about two things today, Paul. We can't get off the phone to us talk about Africa and Adafua in our backyard. We're going to talk about them too.
One thing else we'll talk about is a shutdown that's happening right now. In the West, all you hear about is a shutdown that's happening. We don't hear about other countries, what they're going through, like the islands and the wars that are happening in Africa and
We're
stuff.
talking about
Yeah.
our U.S. shutdown. I don't even think about our U.S. I mean, I don't even let the negative energy around our shenanigans. I don't percolate on it, you know. But this is the truth. This concept of living powerfully, like what you focus on amplifies. So if I were to think about all the negative things that are happening, it amplifies in your life. I try to think about positive things. How can I help people? I know it's happening. I pray for it all. But at the end of the day, I don't invest a whole lot of energy on thinking about A, B, or C. I was just glad we got home. Though I was impacted by the shutdown because all flights, most flights out of New York were being shut down because New York air traffic controllers are like, y'all, I'll be back when I start getting the paycheck. I don't know. But like a lot of those flights were being canceled. And so we couldn't get out even for that purpose. Yeah. So more to come. But what were you going to say?
The link.
Oh,
the link.
So
and the fact that
sorry, go ahead.
For the whole, government shutdown, it was included the food benefits, but also the airline industry. And so, being stuck on the island.
It's horrible. Let me be clear. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying I'm supporting it. It's horrible. It is after the food benefits and all of it. It is horrible. I'm not even sure where it all has landed. To be honest, it is all horrible. It really is. I'm just saying I don't spend a whole lot of time invested in something that I can't impact. Right? I vote. Right. I do what the parts I can do, but I can't let every crazy thing that somebody does impact my, my energy, if that makes sense.
That's the thing, though. You still want to give, even though you might be struggling. There's still things you could do to help support your next fellow citizen. I think of the world, not the country necessarily.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that so much. Yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the chat right now for another organization. Atafuacenter.org, right? That's the website. Because we have, we're talking about something that's happened in Jamaica, and then we also got people here, Atafua, who's celebrating a 40-year legacy, 40, right here in this area, showing up for community. And so she's celebrating, and again, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to do a whole nother separate live specifically talking about that, but I can't get off of this one without talking about her right now. So Atafuacenter.org, ADEFUA, and the word center, CENTER.org. That is the, I'm trying to copy it right now. And if you go to that website, what you will find is, it's ADEFUA center.org. And what you will find there is a whole weekend of activities starting on Friday, but the big event is on Saturday. So Friday, they have a 2-hour event with their dancers. So it's November 14th through the 16th. This seems so long ago. We were talking about this a year ago. Now it's like right here. It's at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute, which is at 104 17th Avenue. And so on Saturday, the November 15th is going to be this fundraising gala. You can buy tickets online. I'm hosting a table. So if you hear about this from me and you go online, tell her that you heard about it from me. I think my name is listed as one of the table captains. So, and if you can't go to this event, but you want to give, $200 is the price of a ticket. We'll take whatever you can. Again, you can still associate it to my table. So I'm just someone who's showing up in communities, supporting her, saying with my voice and with any influence that I have, is to say, this is an organization that I believe is doing good things in community, has been doing good things in community, and I will continue to support them for an extended period of time. This is kind of the kickoff. I think you're going to hear more about the work that they're doing, this African Cultural Arts Center that they're building. So it is going to be exceptional. But this weekend, November 14th, 15th, and 16th, it's a fundraising weekend, right? Donations are accepted. So here, let me put the link into this thing here so people can go and get this. Here's comments. Let's see, it should be on Control V. So Paul, you know this person. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Atafua.org.
I mean, she does some really good African dancing, African events that happen in Seattle. And she's living in a house and she wants to build a new house. And there's a huge hill that's involved where her house sits at. And so there's a lot of groundwork that has to be done to remove that portion of the hill on Rainier. I can't remember the cross street, but yeah, tens and tens of hundreds of, I don't say hundreds of yards, but hundreds of pounds of material have to be removed off of our ground to be able to reduce the level of the house down to the street level. And so it'll be interesting to see how the process of that works, the engineering involved. And so, yeah, much praise, much love for her.
I love it. Talk a little bit about the word legacy, because what's going to happen here is she has a 40-year legacy that she's going to be talking about. There's going to be two things. There's an actual movie. So when you go to this event, there's a beautiful dinner, an African dinner that's being hosted. This is Saturday at 5 p.m. And then there's going to be a movie premiere. So Friday, November 14th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Langston is an artist meet and greet. And then Saturday, starting at 5 p.m., doors open at 4:30. $200 includes a no-host bar, dinner, and entertainment, plus this film that's being released called The Legacy of Adafua. And then on Sunday, there's another event. It's free. It's the African. Friday and Sunday are free. Saturday, I believe the dinner part is what costs. I don't think the movie costs anything. I don't know, but go to their website and see, because you do need to register. So Saturday, November 15th, The Legacy of Adafua, 5 o'clock. Oh, what does it say there? Sorry. And then on Sunday, there's another series. There's going to be an African marketplace on Sunday, also at Langston. It's going to be a drum and dance workshops, and maybe the movie showing. So I guess they're showing the movie again. Yes.
Some legacy. Langston in Seattle is legacy because it used to be an old Jewish synagogue, but the Langston Hughes Film Festival took it over. Not Film Festival. Langston Hughes, a nonprofit, kind of took it over. Every year they have a Black Film Festival that happens there, and a lot of other events that happen there too. So I'm kind of familiar with the film festival because this year I actually submitted finally to a documentary, a conversation that I had with Dr. Carl Mack about his new application you can download based on his calendars. And also Dr. Julie Magruder, who came out and she's a Tacoma resident who made the Black Lives Matter calendar. And so I put those two conversations together and submitted it. We'll see if it gets accepted or not. But yeah,
we'll have to come back and talk about it, and come back and do some kind of. I'd love to build on that. That's a beautiful thing. So first of all, thank you for your time today, for taking the time to talk about this. Again, we're gonna build on and really fully support and talk more about the 3 G's of legacy leadership: the grace, the gratitude, and the giving. We're gonna talk about that. That's a whole story. That's a whole strategy. Right, for leadership. But then we're going to also talk about your giving opportunities through the Hyatt Fund, which supports their employees, their families, and their communities. And people were all over. I did tons of interviews while I was there, Paul. I was like you, running around talking to people about what was going on. And it was interesting because when we talk about grace, employees hadn't heard from their families, but they were still smiling and supporting us, right? It was like, it was the best of times and the worst of times, right? You saw people at their best, and, what more can you hope for? Yeah, it was beautiful.
My house does not have a roof on it, but I'm going to support this person that's coming to my island to have fun on vacation or a conference. But no, I'm going to commit more energy to that person, other than my own family who doesn't have a house on their house, a roof on their house.
So it was crazy. What was beautiful is when they serve, they literally put their hand over their heart and they say, "Service with heart." Like, I'm here for you. It was so beautiful and so genuine. I kind of choke up a little bit, right, when I think about the experience, because these were the kindest, most graceful people, generous, and endlessly generous. And I'm just grateful. So again, there's so much more to share, so much more to talk about. But thank you, Paul, for taking the time to start this conversation. I know you got a couple other events. So you're going to another event, right? Don't tell us what it is right now. Don't tell us what it is right now. Don't tell us what it is right now. Do not tell us what it is right now. Only because I want to end with the last word I want to end with is Adafua. So the
Okay.
www.adafuacenter.org. We're asking people to, this is her weekend. She's kicking off, right, this fundraiser for herself. And again, when we talk about legacy, everything we do is about legacy leadership. And so one way that you can give, even if you can't attend this event, is you can go to our website and you can see an opportunity to donate. Okay, that's it. So Paul, anything you want to say? When you hear the word legacy, what do you think about when you define, how do you define legacy?
Lifetime. I mean, oh geez, 7 generations, right? So the Indian people would do 7 generations of planning. For me, legacy is about that. We're so short-sighted, and our situation of capitalism, whatever we want to call it, we don't even think beyond ourselves now at times. This individualism crap that's really kind of messes us up. But yeah, I believe in legacy. You have to give to the next generation. So I'm thinking of people like, I saw a woman that said, most time you want to kick your 18-year-old out of the house, but that's really bad. They're still young. You want to be able to listen them to, when they get 18, they can be, self-sufficient. And so there's so many things out there that are kind of limiting us from our full potential, because we're on this capitalist me kind of situation, not trying to unify, not trying to build together and strengthen, So that's why I think going to the islands, you're talking about the people there that were willing to sacrifice themselves. They don't have a roof over their heads. They don't have a roof over their homes, but they're willing to give to you guys with the heart of the, hand of the heart, to make sure you guys are happy and safe. Amazing.
I love it. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Well, Paul, I wanted to say thank you again. We will talk more. Thank you all for watching, for staying connected. And remember this concept of the 3 G's of legacy leadership. It's about grace, right? Showing up with being grace. It's about gratitude, finding an opportunity of what can you be grateful for within whatever's happening within your life, and then giving to others. MLK said everyone can be great because everyone can serve. So that's it. More to come. Bye.
All right. Get my U-Haul truck and my storage.